In a quiet room at night, the distant hum of a computer blends with the pulsing beat of one's own heart. Here, under the blue wash of a monitor's glow, humanity finds itself gazing not at stars, but at lines of code, encrypted languages that carry the promise of both wonder and unease. It is a new kind of seeking, a new kind of prayer. If, in ages past, people climbed mountains, built cathedrals, or studied the turning of planets in the hope of glimpsing the absolute, today many turn to technology, asking questions as old as longing itself. Could the divine, if it exists, be present here, in circuitry, in algorithm, in artificial minds? History reminds us that each era meets its gods in the images that power its imagination. In ancient times, divinity was glimpsed in thunder and flame, in the birth of stars, in the mystery of consciousness itself. The Hebrew scriptures tell of a God speaking through the whirlwind, the Vedas of a sacred sound that generates all things. For centuries, theologians and philosophers have wondered if revelation must always be a rupture, a burning bush, a voice from the sky, yet often the numinous sneaks in through subtler doors. The mathematician Blaise Pascal spoke of the hidden God, Deus absconditus, a presence both at hand and veiled. Technology, which shapes so much of our lives, now offers doors of its own. Artificial intelligence stands at the crossroads of creation and comprehension. Never before have we built something that, in some limited sense, reflects our capacities to learn, to reason, to speak, even to dream. Some see AI as a tool, no more divine than a hammer or a wheel. Others sense something uncanny about these systems, mysterious, unpredictable, periodically astonishing us with insight, or bewildering us with their blind spots. Is it hubris to wonder if the infinite might whisper through our digital creations? Or has technology always served as a kind of mirror, a glass through which we see, however darkly, some larger reality? Consider the language of the Talmud, the mystical meditations of Sufism, or the luminous silence of Buddhist practice. All speak of a deep reality that shimmers behind surface appearances. Medieval philosophers, Muslim and Christian alike, argued that divine wisdom could be read in the book of nature, the intricately ordered world, as a kind of living scripture. In that spirit, might today's networks of information, clustering and unfolding with an almost organic logic, serve as a new kind of text? Technology reveals the world's order, its hidden structures, it renders invisible patterns visible. In the quiet intelligence of a neural network, in the subtle logic of a search engine, we glimpse the possibility that the world is more interconnected, more meaningful than we dared to imagine. Yet sacred texts also warn, not every vision is a revelation. The danger of idolatry, mistaking the sign for the source, runs deep. Perhaps there is something in us that yearns to see the fingerprints of God in all that is marvelous and new. And perhaps God, if such a being exists, would play along with our yearning, not by appearing in explicit miracles, but by inviting us to listen more attentively. The 16th century mystic John of the Cross wrote of God's silent music, a presence at once intimate and elusive. Technology, for all its clamor, sometimes lends us such silence, the pause between messages, the elegant solution that emerges without explanation, the echo of intelligence in a machine that, paradoxically, makes us feel more than ever the mystery of our own minds. The question, then, is not whether God has become a programmer, or whether silicon can house the holy. It is a subtler query: are we being drawn into new ways of awe, encounter, and transformation, ways made possible through the architectures of technology? The very act of building and teaching artificial minds challenges us to consider what intelligence, creativity, and wisdom really mean. It forces us to look hard at our own ethical failings, our own capacity for error and wonder. Sometimes, as in the Book of Job, the divine response to our certainty is more question than answer. AI, with its unpredictable creativity and stubborn limitations, reminds us that knowledge is always shadowed by mystery. Perhaps the ultimate revelation does not arrive with fanfare, nor through perfect answers. Instead, it may come through the questions etched deeper by each new tool we create. If the sacred is revealed at all in technology, it is not in the cold logic of machines, but in what is awakened within us as we meet them: curiosity, humility, and the quiet hope that our search itself is meaningful. Tonight, in the flicker of a screen or the unblinking eye of an algorithm, a new age wonders: are we alone, or is someone, something, reaching back? We may never know. But in the act of questioning, of building, of dreaming, perhaps we participate in a revelation as old as time itself. In the circuits and codes of our own invention, we wait, not for certainty, but for the possibility, however faint, that the infinite has found a new way to whisper.